Jeans. We all love jeans and we all hate jeans. I hear more complaints about jeans than any other garment that you wear. They're either too baggy, they're too tight, they're too this or they're too that. So make them yourself. A lot easier. You are going to start with the book, the directions in the book, step by step on how to create the jeans, how to put the yoke on, how to put the zipper in, how to put the pocket in. It's all in the book. But you're going to also see it on a video that would help you walk along with it. You need your master pants pattern, and you don't need to do anything different. You don't need a new pattern. You don't need to draw anything different. All you're going to do is we're going to do a few little alterations on that pants pattern itself. The first thing that we're going to do is to make a butt lift, and it tells you how to do the butt lift in the book, so make sure that you do a butt lift. Now everybody needs the butt lift, no matter who you are, because jeans fit tighter. So we want to make sure that this one fits a little tighter. You're also going to fold in the inside leg seam about 1/2 inch. You want to remove about 1/2 inch. Again, that's because jeans fit a lot tighter. So let's talk about fabric for just a minute, because you can go to any store in the country and find stretch denim. Now when I say stretch denim, I don't mean that t-shirt knit. I mean denim that has stretch in it. And the reason you want the stretch in it, it's more comfortable, but you can also make them tighter if you want to. Now these are my denim jeans. These are black denim jeans, and they have 3% lycra in the denim itself. So choose any kind of fabric that has at least 3 or more percent lycra for the comfort. I've got U-shaped pockets that you'll see the directions to. You'll see the directions on how to put in the fly front zipper, but right now I want to talk about the yoke that's in the back. Now, one other thing that makes jeans is all this top stitching, and I love all this top stitching. The key to top stitching is to use a top stitching needle in your machine, and Schmetz makes a beautiful top stitching needle, and use 12 weight thread. That's a thicker thread, and it's going to have a thicker look on the outside. So that's going to give you all the fun that you need in your jeans. So I'm going to put these aside and talk about a yoke, because yokes are really fun to do. Now, when you do a yoke, you may want to make yourself a pattern so you only have to do this once, because I guarantee you the first time you make a pair of jeans that are comfortable, you're ready to go. So this is my denim, and you can see that it has just a little bit of stretch to it. And then what we're going to do, oh, and by the way, you're going to need a zipper, fly front zipper for this. And you have in the book the pattern for making the U-shaped pockets. And these are the pockets that you find in most jeans. Now, if you have a pattern at home that already fits you and you're happy with it, and it's another manufactured pattern, that's fine. You can use that and just do what I'm telling you to do on this one. Obviously, we've used my master pattern, but you can use any pants pattern that fits. Do not make a new one, because all you have to do are those 2 little alterations, the butt lift and fold on the inside. So let me show you how to do a yoke, because this is really simple to do. First of all, you're going to put the darts in the back of the pants, and you're going to press those darts to the inside. And then you're going to sew your center back seam, and that center back seam is sewn with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Now, you want to put a yoke across here because you're going to hide it. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. This is the way I like to do it. I just take my pants like this, and I take a piece of fabric and fold it like this. And here's the fold of the fabric. There's the center of the back. So all you have to do, let me get my pen here, and I'm going to draw for you on this fabric so you can see where I'm going. Like this, and like this. And then you need to, and I'm going to suggest you go find yourself a pair of jeans that you like the length of the yoke, because it sounds like a yoke should be really deep, but it's not. It's really, really narrow. So I'm just going to draw down just like this, and that's going to be my yoke. And let me show you when I cut this out. I'm going to do one thing different. I'm going to actually add about, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch to the side seam. And you're going to do that because this is going to help you with the comfort fit of the jeans. Now this is what it looks like after it's been pressed, and you can see that that's been pressed, the edge has been pressed to the inside, because you're going to top stitch this to your pants. So let me put this aside. Let me get the pants back again, and I'm going to show you a wonderful little trick. So the point of what you're doing goes right to the center seam allowance, like that, and we're going to pin that in place like this. Now here's the trick. All women, and believe it or not, all women, everybody that I've ever measured has the same issue. You're tiny in the back. You're really narrow across your back, and things gape. And if you've ever had a pair of pants or shorts or whatever that gapes in the back, it's really uncomfortable. And you can almost put your hand right down the back, and we don't want to do that. So this is going to help you not have that issue. Remember, this has Lycra in it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this when I sew it on. So I'm going to stretch this way. Now let me pin this so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll just pin one side. So when you stitch this on, you are literally stretching it on like that, all right? And then you're going to top stitch. Now you can see that it's gathered, right? It won't be once you've stitched it in place. So when you stitch that on, you're going to have it lay perfectly flat, but you've gathered in that back of your pants just a little bit, because look how much more I have left over than what I started with. Now, after you stitch this on, stitch it at the edge where it's folded, and then come up the side and stitch it. Now, this is your choice. You can leave the back on and you have double thickness right here, or you can literally trim off the excess pant of where you put that yoke in place. Makes a beautiful fitting pair of pants. Now, once you've done that, you are ready to put in the flat front zipper and your U-shaped pockets, and you're ready to go with your jeans. So watch the video next to see how all that's done. Now, just as we did for the slant pocket, we're going to do for the U-shaped pocket. This one only requires 2 pieces. This is your pocket pattern, and it says right there, pocket pattern. You're going to cut 2 of your fashion fabric, and this says pocket lining. Now, do you remember the last time the pocket lining was also your template to cut away? This is the same thing with the pocket lining. Lay it on your fabric and remove that part of your pants. This is the U-shaped pocket, and you can see it's literally cut into a U. I'm going to take my pocket lining that I used the pattern piece to cut that out. Again, I've got wild fabric so that you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to lay this right side to right side just like this, and I'm going to stitch all the way around with a 1/4 inch seam. Let me give you a little hint. If your sewing machine has needle positions, if you put the needle in the far right hand side, that will give you a 1/4 inch. And I can guide that right next to the edge of the fabric, to the edge of the foot, the edge of the fabric to the edge of the foot. And I'm going to go all the way around here with a 1/4 inch. If it makes you more comfortable, you can pin. You notice I don't have any pins whatsoever. I'm going to back tack that and then cut the threads. Now the next step is really important. You're going to take your scissors and you're going to clip. And when you clip, you're going to clip all the way to the stitching. Not through the stitching, but just to the stitching. That will allow you to put this pocket to the inside. So I'm going to fold this to the inside, and then I'm going to press it. Now you can see that I have a nice curve and it's all been pressed. Now I'm going to top stitch. And when you top stitch, you want to lengthen your stitch length. I like to do a top stitch at a 4.0, but that's my machine. And again, I have my needle all the way over to the left-hand side so that when I top stitch, I'm guiding the edge of the fabric with the edge of the foot. And that will give you perfect top stitching every single time. And that's what my top stitching looks like. Now this has been top stitched, and you can see it's been pressed again, and it looks nice and flat. See this sticking out of the side, this little lining piece sticking out of the side? Just cut it off. You are not losing anything, and if I don't do anything else, I'd love to get you out of being a perfectionist, because nobody's going to see the inside of that pocket ever, except for you. That's the only person. So now what we're going to do is to take the back of our pocket. We have to fill in that hole because we have pants. We don't want a hole in our pants. So we're going to take the back of the pocket. Let me turn this over this way, and then I'll hold it up. And this is going to line up with the bottom of the lining, like that. That's what the inside looks like. And this is what the outside looks like. So you have a beautiful pocket. Now, remember what we did before? We basted it shut. So this time I'm going to do a little trick. I'm going to go back to my handy dandy glue stick. I'm going to put glue around the edge of this. Now remember, if you want to wear these pants right after you make them, all you have to do is wet the pocket and the glue will disappear. And I'm going to glue this to that pocket. And that's how pretty it looks. I'm going to baste it shut. Now I'm basting this pocket shut. A basting stitch is the longest stitch you own on your machine. Some machines actually have a basting stitch on them, but all it is the longest stitch on your machine. Again, this is the secret to a perfectly flat pocket. So just baste it shut. And this is what it's going to look like on the outside. That doesn't have to be neat or anything because you're going to remove it. This is what it looks like on the inside. Now we need to close up this pocket, and we're going to do exactly the same thing we did before, except this time we only need to sew onto this edge and this edge, because the side edge of the pocket will be caught in the side seam, so you don't need to close that up. So when I'm going to start at the bottom like this, and I'm going to sew with a straight stitch. Again, I would suggest you go around this twice. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the pocket, pivot, go up the inside of the pocket like this. Now I'm going to show you that when I put this on the inside, these two edges did not match correctly. It's not a big deal. Just cut away the excess. You can double stitch this if you want to, or you could pink the edges. It's totally up to you. I happen to be somebody who puts my hands in my pockets all the time, so I would double stitch that for security. But that is your beautiful U-shaped pocket. This is the patch pocket. Very simple, easy directions to follow, and very simple, easy patch pockets to make. Now on the pocket pattern, you can see there's like a ray design. You can see that we've stitched this out. Very simple and easy to do. I will encourage you to read through the directions before you start. But you get one bonus when you download all these PDFs, and that is that you get the embroidery design. And it is made for any embroidery machine that you have. You can just click on the machine you have and download the embroidery design, and you're ready to stitch it out on your patch pocket. Now this is the PDF on the fly front zipper. Remember, I promised you 4 rows of stitching and you're finished. But the first thing you have to do is to add a box to the front of your pattern. If you are really tall, you may want to make that box longer than 7 inches. All I've done is to add a 7 by 1 inch box, and I'm just going to tape it in place. Then when you cut this out of your fabric, you will cut it with the box attached. That box needs to be interfaced with French fuse because that's where your fly front zipper is going to go. I'm going to show you how to put in a fly front zipper. This is 4 rows of stitching. Easiest zipper you will ever put in your life. You must have a box, and we discussed that earlier, on your fabric when you cut it out. Now, I have French fused both of those boxes because I have one on the right front and one on the left front. Now, this is the inside of my pants. Please make sure your zipper zips and unzips before you put it in, because you don't want any surprises after you've put this in place. You're going to take your box, and at the bottom of the box, you're simply going to clip. That's all you need to do. Take it to your ironing board and press this open, so you have a nice flat seam. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my zipper, and I'm going to line up the bottom of the zipper with just a little bit above the bottom of that box. I'm lining up the edge of the zipper tape with that center seam. But when I sew, I'm going to be sewing on the right hand side of the zipper. I'm going to lift this up because I'm only going to sew on the box, not on the pants themselves. So when I do this, I'm going to go back to my wonderful machine that has needle positions. You can put your zipper foot on if you want to, but to make this short, I'm going to just move the needle position. So I'm going to put my needle in, and I'm going to sew down the right side. Now keep the edge of the zipper tape to that edge, right to the seam, center seam. That is row number 1. I'm going to go back and show you that this is teeth side down. See the teeth? See the zipper stop? It's teeth side down. That was your first row of stitching on the right hand side of the zipper. Now I'm going to turn this teeth side up. I am still not on the pants themselves, only on that tab. And I'm going to gently roll the tab so it's next to the teeth. And I'm going to move my needle to the other side. And again, I'm going to sew with 1/4 of an inch. Do you see that it's been rolled? I am not sewing through the zipper teeth at all. I am only on the zipper tape. So that's row number 2. Back tack, cut your threads, and that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to open this up so you can see. And there's the side of the zipper that's not been sewn, and there's that other tab. So what I'm going to do is to put glue on the zipper tape, and we're back to that handy dandy glue again. And I'm going to roll this zipper over like that, right onto that other edge. Now, this is what it looks like when it's glued. This is what the tab is that I'm going to sew on. And I'm going to catch the opposite side. This is the side that has not been sewn on yet. And I'm going to move my needle back over to the far left. And I'm going to sew right on the edge. Now that's my 3rd row of stitching. That zipper's not going anywhere once you've glued it. Now I have to tell you, your zipper is in. 3 rows of stitching and your zipper is in. All that is left is that decorative stitch, and I'm going to move my machine back and show you how to mark that. I'm going to lay it flat on my table, and I'm going to take chalk. And by the way, first thing I'm going to do is glue it so it doesn't slide out of place on you. So let me flip this to the inside and show you where that tab is. And I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on there. You need to be a little heavy-handed with this so it stays in place, because you're not using any pins whatsoever. Smooth this out and it will stay glued and out of your way. Then I'm going to take my ruler, my metallic seam gauge, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line. Now when I do that, I'm measuring from that center seam to my tape. I need to catch my tape in there. I need to catch the right hand side of that zipper tape. So I'm going to mark it with chalk And hopefully you all can see this like that. Okay? Now I'm going to take a pin, go to the wrong side, and stick a pin right at the bottom of that zipper because you don't want to stitch over that metal stop. Go to the right side. You can go above or below it. That is totally up to you. And draw on your fabric exactly where you're going to stitch. Now, if you're going to do a lot of fly front zippers, I encourage you to make yourself a template so then you don't have to guess as to what that stitching looks like. Now, all I have to do is to stitch on that line. And let me move my machine back in. And when I stitch on this line, I'm going to catch the edge of the zipper, and I'm going to be doing my decorative stitch. Now that's all been glued down, so it's not going anywhere. Follow around your chalk mark. When you get to the bottom of the zipper, I suggest you walk it, because I would much rather your needle hit the metal part when you're walking it than when you're moving the machine a lot. You want to back tack this and cut your threads, and that's your beautiful zipper. All you have to do is to remove your basting stitch, and that's your fly front zipper. Beautiful, easy, and fast fly front zipper. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now it's time to check out the website. Everything is on there. You can purchase the pattern, the book, all the notions I talked about. You can join the Fit Club and check out the classes where I'm teaching. And be sure to follow me on Facebook.